Hello and welcome to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on Vicky Rivera, the president of the Lynn Hispanic Scholarship Fund. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Danny, thanks for having me. Really happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We always love having different organizations on. So I'll start off by saying, asking, when did you become the president?
So I just became the president in the fall, so not too long ago. Super psyched to be able to help lead this organization to new heights. Yeah.
And they're all volunteer positions.
Yes, so we have currently a 10-member board. We are all volunteer. It's a volunteer working board, which means that folks have real professional lives outside of this work, and we're all just, very excited and passionate about helping our young people. Yeah.
And I'll ask how you initially got involved, because you do have some family involvement. So is that how you initially got connected to it? Or?
Yeah, so as it turns out, the organization was started in 1991. A family friend of ours, Maria, affectionately Lucy Tisol, learned about a young man in the community who had not been able to graduate because he needed one class, just one class. It was like a summer school course. And she just decided to do a collection. At the time in Lynn, there was a Puerto Rican social club called Eco Borincano, and there was a Dominican social club called Club Quisqueyano. And she basically, went to other Latino folks in the community and said, okay, we have this young person, we need to come together and help them. And that was the brainchild. Lucy's idea then, converged into creating a 501c3 for the Lynn Hispanic Scholarship Fund, Incorporated. And she recruited other people in the community, including my mom. Most of the folks were, locals. Some people were college educated, many were not, but saw the need to help our young people be able to go on to college. So yeah.
It is. It's pretty incredible. You think what one person created, and now all these years later, you have a very large, very impressive organization.
Yeah.
And one of the things you're coming on to talk about is the annual gala that you do, the scholarship gala that's coming up next month.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's become a family affair. I forgot to mention earlier, my sister was president at one time, and the gala has become a combination event. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it's also the award ceremony. And so the idea is really to be able, excuse me, to honor our students, our scholarship recipients. We historically have given out about 10 to 12 scholarships in the last, decade or so, about $1,000 each student. And really, it's an opportunity to bring the whole community together, be it the students, scholarship recipients themselves, family members, people who wrote recommendation letters for them, other loved ones in the community. Then we have obviously the community of the board, the working board, and then government officials and other supporters, just general supporters and sponsors in the community. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does, and the way that it's talked about, it's like everyone within the community is sort of like a family. It's a big family affair, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I was born here, and I've seen sort of how the demographics have changed in Lynn. When I was a kid back in the day, Latinos were here, but not so prevalent as they are today. I know in Lynn Public Schools, I think it's over 65% of the student body are of Latino Hispanic descent. I went to St. Mary's, and 30% of the students there are of Latino Hispanic descent. And in KIPP, my kids go there, and I've seen tons of kids. They have a huge portion of the student body is also Latino. And this is a great way that we can give back to our kids. Many of us, myself included, were first generation in this country, and also to college. And to be able to help our young people get to the next level is really what this is about. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll ask a little bit, what are the requirements for the scholarship? And for anyone interested, how does the application process usually work?
Yeah, so we are very much centered on Lynn. And in order for students to be eligible for the scholarship, they have to reside in Lynn. They have to go to one of the Lynn high schools. That includes any of the LPS schools, as well as KIPP and St. Mary's. and they have to be of Latino Hispanic descent. So those are the eligibility criteria. We do not have a GPA minimum or maximum. We definitely look for students who are showing leadership, and that can be displayed in different ways. There's an essay that students have to fill out. They're also required to submit a recommendation letter that can come from a school official. It can be from someone in the community, in a general community, an employer, or a pastor or priest. And there's an essay. And then they have to prove that they've been admitted somewhere. So they have to show their letter of admission. Yeah.
Okay.
But it can be for students that are going to 4-year colleges, 2-year colleges, or certificate training programs. Very much open. Yeah.
So there's a vast, in terms of what they could be going into.
Yes, absolutely. We're just trying to encourage people to go for higher education opportunities. It opens up doors. We've seen that over the years, that the more you are prepared, the better salary options and opportunities in life. And Lynn historically has been a working class town where families work really, really hard. And we want it to be so that the next generation has even more opportunities. And being able to prepare yourselves and educate yourselves, really that's what the goal is for our young people.
As a recent college grad, I definitely understand that making the connections, growing your network, being able to do that is so incredibly important.
Yes.
And looking ahead, you said, look how much you've grown in these last several years. Ahead, what are some of the goals for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about growing our impact. And I say this to my board all the time, but the reality is that, there's so many professions that don't exist today that will exist 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And our goal is to be able to get our young people to look at all these different options, and by preparing themselves, right? And so as a first gen to college student myself, I know that I had people that helped me. I was very fortunate to be involved in the Upward Bound program through North Shore Community College. They were instrumental. Every organization that exists out there can only serve a certain number of students. And so our goal is to be able to serve more young people. Ideally, be able to help our young people earlier on, meaning, okay, we have, right now the students have to be seniors in high school to apply for the scholarship, and it's a 1-year scholarship. If I had my, my dream of dreams come true, we would be able to have students apply for multi-year scholarships, be able to give out scholarships in larger amounts of money, and also to be able to do more prep stuff with kids when they're in high school. Even as close as like 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, to start preparing students and opening up the possibilities earlier. So the students can understand this is the reality, like this is something that I can do for myself. And I think it's really important. Our board is made up predominantly of Latino professionals. And so that students can see, okay, oh wait, there's people that look like me. Like this is something I could do too. It's not just like I'm the only one in the room. Yeah.
Other people that look like them, they see them being successful, having the careers, and it's...
Hopefully,
yes,
yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
And I didn't ask you before with the Gala, but it's, like you said, multifaceted event. How do you plan something like that?
Yeah, it takes a lot of hustle. I like to call it the behind the scenes magic. Our board, we're all individuals in different fields, and the idea really is to be able to get our students connected, right? And so we have made a lot of outreach to different organizations in the community, you name it, banks, education, other nonprofits who've been supportive in the past and will continue to be supportive, either through sponsorships or putting in ads in our Gala book, or just donations, right? Yeah. And the reality is we're reaching out. We're reaching out to the whole community. Businesses, that you don't have to be Latino owned. How many people, serve the Latino community? Pretty much every organization and business in town. And so we really are doing lots of outreach. And the idea is to be able to have a really beautiful celebration on May 19th. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for people who are interested in going, as you have to get tickets, I'm assuming?
Yes. So if you go to our website, LynnHispanicScholarshipFund.org. On that website, we have an Eventbrite link, and the idea is really you can buy tickets for the event up until the day of. We prefer you buy them beforehand, not just saying. Tickets are $50, and you can get a table of 8 for $350, so you can save a little bit of money that way. Again, through sponsorships, and ads,
Definitely. And I know we have to wrap up in a second, but is there anything that I hadn't asked about or mentioned that you wanted to talk about the organization?
I think we really appreciate the support of the community, from the mayor's office to our government officials, to the other nonprofits that historically have been great partners for us. We thank you for that, and we hope that you can continue to support our efforts so that we can help more and more young people go on to better and brighter futures. Yeah.
Takes a village, right?
Yeah, it definitely takes a village. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank you for coming on to discuss the organization.
Awesome. Awesome. We really appreciate it. If any questions come up, please, feel free to check out our website. We are also on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, and LinkedIn. So for folks that go to any of those media outlets. Yeah.
Great. And say thank you again for coming on. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we will see you next week with more guests.